Hi everyone, my name is the RPG Goddess Gamer and welcome to another episode. So today we're going to be doing another Suikoden lore book, specifically Suikoden 2. That is my favourite, as I'm sure it is the favourite for many others. My favourites in order are Suikoden 2, Suikoden 1, Suikoden 3, Suikoden 5, and then number 4 last. But I've been getting into playing Eating Chronicles 100 Heroes, if I pronounced that right anyway. And I've been really loving it, and it's giving off those Suikoden vibes, which has got me in the mood to do a bit of digging into Suikoden. So I want to eventually do a video covering all of the old books from the Suikoden games. So, well, I guess the proper thing would be to do them in order. I'm just going to do them whatever order I like. So we're going to start with my favourite, which is Suikoden 2. For those of you who don't know, Suikoden is a game that originally came out on the PlayStation 1 and it had 5 entries. The last one being number 5, which was on the PlayStation 2. It is a turn-based RPG and it was known for having many, many characters that you could recruit, specifically 108, which the game would refer to as 108 Stars of Destiny. And it also had a home base that you could build with lots of mini games and recruitable characters. And yeah, really epic stories, very political. And also lots of great character building and story and world building and all that sort of stuff. And one aspect that the game always had was collectibles. There were like window sets which would allow you to change the frame for the text boxes. Hammers that you could give to the blacksmith to upgrade your weapons, because instead of having to constantly buy new weapons, you would just sharpen your existing weapon. And one of those collectibles are the old books, and the old books reveal a little bit of lore about the game, and they're quite interesting. So I've just pulled them up online, and we're going to read through them together. So without any further ado, let's get started, shall we, guys? Okay, so we have the old book, volume 1. You can find it in Kiara Village. Its title is an antique list, and the text. So this is basically just an explanation of all the different antiques that you can get, because remember I mentioned before you can get collectibles? Well, those collectibles are antiques, and they'll always show up as a question mark, something or another, until you take them to the appraiser and get them appraised, and then you can find out what they are, and you can sell them for money to decorate the bath. And also having certain combinations, I do believe, would also trigger certain cutscenes. Anyway, let's get on to the text. So we have failure urn, 20 potch, octopus urn, 100 potch, vase, 5,000 potch, wide urn, 8,000 potch, blue dragon urn, 16,000 potch, skeleton urn, 20,000 potch, black urn, 40,000 potch, fine bone china, 120,000 potch, hex doll, 120 potch, Japanese dish, 6,000 potch, Chinese dish, 12,000 potch, Persian lamp, 15,000 potch, peeing boy, 30,000 potch, coral, 40,000 potch, bonsai, 50,000 potch, knight statue, 60,000 potch, goddess statue, 200,000 potch, graffiti, 200 potch, flower painting, 1,400 potch, lover's garden, 58,000 potch, landscape paint, 80,000 potch, nature's beauty, 400,000 potch. The antiques were always a favourite of mine. I used to love collecting those and sticking them in the baths to see what they look like and what they could do. So next we have Old Book Volume 2. Source, Treasure in the Sindar Ruins. Title, Seeker of Sindar. So the text goes as follows. I spent my life chasing the secrets of the Sindar, but here in these ruins I've reached the end of my strength, and so I write some of what I've learned. The Cinder, ah, sorry, the Cinder area phantom race. They've been known throughout history, and yet their true nature is a mystery. They came from the Northland, travelled south, leaving mysterious ruins behind them. Legends say the clan leader has had a cursed rune inscribed on his forehead. It granted eternal life, but doomed the clan to a life of wandering. They say a secret treasure lies at the heart of the ruins, but there are many traps, and most seekers find only death, like myself. So interesting. The Sindar ruins um, are a dungeon that you encounter in Suikoden 2, and you fight this enemy, which is kind of like a two-headed snake. And yeah, I won't spoil it, but you find this treasure that um, one of your characters thinks is not a very valuable treasure because it's just a healing herb, but it ends up proving to be quite valuable when his wife is sick. Well, there you go, I just did spoil it. But I've always found the Sindar fascinating. If they would ever make another Suikoden game, I would love to find out some more about Sindar. I had a theory once that Jean was actually a descendant of the Sindar, like is a Sindar herself. Who knows though? But yeah, they're one of those advanced ancient civilizations that have died out, and they used to wander around. They were kind of like nomadic people, and yeah, they left behind some pretty fascinating ruins. I wish we could learn more about them in the game. But anyway, let's continue on to the next one. So we have Old Book Volume 3. Source: Rare Find South Window Item Shop. Title: Rare Find List. Text: Rare Find List. Ryubi. Leather coat. Brass armor. Toto. Feathered hat. Chiaro. Winged boots. Moose. Sun badge. Guard robe. Circuit. Water crystal. Fury crystal. Coronet. Tunic. Karate uniform. Couscous. Sacrificial Jizzo. South window. Half plate. Kite shield. Water crystal. Radat. Speed ring. Sound set 5. Magic robe. Lake West. Headgear. Earth crystal. Two River. Guard ring. Silver hat. Wizard crystal. Kobold village. Gold emblem. Heavy necklace. Green hill. Draining crystal. Forest village. Scale mail. Rock axe. Silver brass armor. Thunder god garb. Highway village. Rabbit plans 2. Thunder amulet. Banner village. Rose brooch. Rabbit plans 3. Full plate. Gregminster. Wing boots. Mangosh. Mother earth crystal. Flowing crystal. Tinto village. Silk ring. Wind hat. Tunic. Takioku wear. Crom. Magic ring. So the rare finds are basically if you go to an item store, you can have the option of looking at any rare items that they would have, and as the name implies, they are rare items. So sometimes you can find recipes and collectibles or rare weapons, not weapons, sorry, because there are no weapons to speak of, well, aside from the weapons that your characters come with, you're not constantly replacing them, as I stated before. But yeah, so that's basically what these are, in case you didn't know. And I'm pretty sure there are more than that, but that gives you an idea of some of the ones you can find, although that might be all of them. I don't think so, though. I'm pretty sure there are other towns that are not there. I'd be surprised if they were all of them. So, next one, we have Old Book Volume 4. Found Moose. Title, Character List. Text, Suspicious Character List. Clive. From the Howling Voice Guild. Chasing a woman. Be careful of his gun. Before I continue, Clive. I've never been able to complete the Clive side quest, and I have infinite amount of respect for those who can. Actually, the last time I played, I missed a couple of Stars of Destiny, and I couldn't believe I totally forgot about Clive. I just totally forgot about him by the time I realised it was too late, and I couldn't be bothered starting the whole game again, so there we have it. But as it states, Clive is chasing a woman, and he works for an organisation called the Howling Voice Guild, and they have guns, which are sort of guns that have a soul of their own. But yeah, I've watched the quest online, but I've never been able to complete it myself because it's basically a time quest, so you have to be able to pretty much follow the quest through to its continuation at a very rapid pace, meaning you've got to complete the quest very, very, very quickly. So to do it is quite hard, and I have a lot of respect for those who can. But Clive is a very cool character. I love his look. I love his character. I want to learn more about him, and I love his little side story. Sorry, I just had to intersect that there. Then we have Ulan, trying to rid Couscous of a thief who preys on all female parties. Ulan is a character, and you recruit her. I forget which town it is. I guess it's Couscous. But basically, you've got to bring a party of all females, and you'll get a little cutscene where these thieves show up and try and attack your party. And after that is when Ulan will join you, and she's a bodyguard. Continuing on, we have Zamza, seen in South Window, a master of magic and fists. He can also be seen in Toto. Killy hunts for the secrets of the Sindar, seems to be exploring in South Window. Killy's another favourite of mine. He actually appears along with L'Oreal in Suikoden 5. I love it when characters reoccur. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Getting the chance to get to know them that little bit better, find out a little bit more about them is just absolutely fascinating to me. I love getting lost in these worlds. I swear to God, they feel so real sometimes. Next, we have Hoy, a thief who goes in and out of Radat. I'm not 100% sure if I'm right about this, but I think Hoy is the character who pretends to be the hero, so he dresses up like the hero, basically to try and get free meals and free clout. I could be wrong though, that might not be him. Simone Veridecci, staying in Radat while he studies away from home. Simone is one of the narcissists. Well, that's what I like to call them. And yeah, you recruit him by getting him the rose brooch. Apparently, it was a gift from a dear friend of his, and he lost it. And you can find it, as stated in one of the previous old books, in one of the towns in the Rare Finds. Next, we have Pesmerga, Black Knight seen in Torren as well as in the Cave of the Winds. Pesmerga is another fascinating character. We don't know a lot about him, but he is very, very strong. One of the last characters you will recruit. So cool. I love his helmet with the horns. So freaking cool. Jean, brewmaster from Torren, opened a shop in Two River. Jean is another favourite of mine. We don't know much about her. We know that she seems to reappear in pretty much every Suikoden game, and she never seems to appear very much older. In fact, in a lot of them, she looks even younger. Whereas she's just extremely lucky in that regard to have aged so gracefully. Or whether it's because of the true rune, who knows? Very suspicious. But we do find her in Suikoden 5 investigating a ruin. I think it's a Sindar ruin. So again, whether or not she's connected to the Sindar in some way or is a Sindar, who knows? But another character that I would absolutely love to know more about. Find her fascinating. She's so beautiful, and she's a magic user, as it states, being a rune master, obviously. But she has access to very powerful magic. Pretty much any rune you give her, you know she's going to ace it. One of my favourite characters. Her and Vicky are two of my favourites, I've got to say. Next, we have Meg, Gadget, apprentice to what's that? Magnesian, seen travelling from Green Hill to Moose. Meg is, I think, the niece of oh god, I can't remember his name. Joppo or Japo. So basically, they make gadgets. Japo I think was the one who made the oh god, what's that place? It's a dungeon in, I think, the city where the part lives, and it's full of traps and puzzles. But Gadget is a cool little guy because he is made out of wood and he's basically like a very primitive wooden robot who seems to unwillingly serve Meg. It's funny, the two of them together. Meg's a little bit of a scatterbrain, and poor Gadget seems to realise, but he's a creation and an editor, I suppose, so what choice does he have but to follow? Funny. Next we have Genshu, seen at the inn in Coronet village, travels the world to improve his swordsmanship. I apologise for the constant interruptions on that one, but had to give my 2 cents worth. Next we have Old Book Volume 5. Source, found Greenhill, title The 27 True Runes. Text, Birth of the 27 True Runes. In the beginning there was darkness. Darkness lived alone for eons, suffering in solitude for so long a time. Darkness finally shed a tear. From this tear 2 brothers were born, Sword and Shield. Sword bragged that he could cut anything to pieces, and to that Shield answered that nothing could ever harm him, and so the 2 went to war. The battle raged for 7 days and 7 nights. Sword cut Shield. Shield smashed Sword. Fragments of Sword rained down and formed the sky. Fragments of Shield rained down and formed the earth. Sparks from the battle became the stars. The 27 jewels adorning the sword and shield became the 27 true runes, and the world came into being. I absolutely love this. This would probably have to be my single favourite old book. I'm not sure that you get this in every game, but if I remember correctly, you seem to get this book or a very similar one in nearly every Suikoden game. And I just find it fascinating. It's just, it's a creation story of the Suikoden world, and they put in such a simple manner that explains how the world came into being, how the stars came into being, how the 27 true runes came into being. And we know that the sword and shield rune are the true sword. I think it's true black sword and the true shield rune that Rio and Joey have, our 2 main characters from Suikoden 2. So yeah, absolutely fascinating. I love stuff like that. I love getting lost in the lore of these worlds. Next, we have Old Book Volume 6. Found Forest Village. Title, A Guide to Trading. Text, A Guide to Trading. Always gather information before trading. Check the prices of goods at the trading posts in each area. When you find items with price differences, buy low and sell high. That's the basics of all trade. Trading posts keep inventory. If you buy all of the trade items from a certain location, it will take some time for them to be restocked. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to find a route where you can visit 3 trading posts in a row. For example, buy salt in South Window, then sell the salt in Forest Village and buy sugar. Sell the sugar in Kobold Village and buy mayonnaise, then head back to South Window. Inexpensive items don't bring much profit, so leave your items in your warehouse so you can trade many items at one time. There's a lot of false information going around, so try to find reliable people to take advice from. Excuse me. So, trading, that's another aspect that we have in the Suikoden games. As it states, you can buy items like sugar, salt, mayonnaise, antiques, and various local goods that the towns specialise in, and you can sell them for a profit. It is a good way to make money if you know what you're doing. Like, for instance, kobolds love shiny things, so you can buy the crystal balls and sell them for a profit at the kobold village. But personally, I never bothered with it much because it's just so easy to make money in other ways, like through the mini games or just by fighting battles. So I would only ever bother with it, with usually one exception. I can't remember the character's name, but there was a trade in Suikoden 2, and to recruit him, you had to make a certain amount of money from trading. So I would do that, and once I reached that amount, I would basically never trade again. But it is a fun little mini game. It's nice to have these options available. Next, we have Old Book Volume 7. Source: found Greg Menster. Title: The Gate Room War. Text: The Gate Room War. The war in which the Tauren Republic defeated the Scarlet Moon Empire is known as the Gate Rune or the Liberation War. The first leader of the victorious Liberation Army was a woman named Odessa Silverberg. She was originally imperial nobility, but her lover was killed by the Empire, and so she joined the resistance and formed the Liberation Army. The original members were Flick, Humphrey, Sanchez, but according to another member, Victor, the later victories were due to the intervention of McDowell, son of the 6th Imperial General. During the war, Odessa was killed and McDowell took over the leadership of the Liberation Army. McDowell followed the advice of General Mathieu and set up Tauren Castle as a new Liberation Army base. After many battles, they succeeded in overthrowing Emperor Barbarossa. However, after helping form a new nation, McDowell journeyed off to somewhere without ever seeing the fruits of his long labour. This is another really interesting old book, because if you were to play Suikoden 2 and you hadn't played Suikoden 1, this would give you a very brief but informative little piece of information about the events of the first Suikoden. As it states, when you first join the Liberation Army, Odessa Silverberg is the one in charge of the Liberation Army, but she gets assassinated, and so she chooses the young newcomer McDowell, who is the son of, is it Teo? I think it's Teo McDowell, one of the 6th grade generals anyway, and she chooses him to take over. And of course there are many members of the Liberation Army, 108 to be exact, well, 108 plus all the many other characters that are not Stars of Destiny, but, you know, part of the whole process. But yeah, Flick and Victor specifically are my favourites, and part of the reason for that is because not only are they such badass characters and such awesome individuals, but they're also recurring characters that appear in both Suikoden 1 and Suikoden 2, which, speaking of, where in God's great name are the remasters of Suikoden 1 and 2? We heard that, how long ago was it now? And we still haven't had a peep. I mean, how hard would it be for Konami to release just a picture or a screenshot or just a little statement saying, yeah, by the way, everyone, we haven't forgotten about this. We're still working on it, you know, and even they give our reasons for why, just to let us know that it is actually still happening. Because I've actually got that pre-ordered and paid for, so I can pick it up the moment it comes out. But when it's coming out is anybody's guess, and I really wish that Konami would get off the butt and give us some freaking info about it. But what can you do? Hopefully our patience will eventually pay off. Okay, so to continue on, we have Old Book Volume 8. Source: found Tiger Mouth. Title: The Grasslands. Text: Tinto and the Grasslands. Grasslands are a grassy plain stretching from the western part of Tinto to the north. Many different peoples live there and are trying to take control of it. Tinto plans on more raids in the future, but they're hindered by the Grasslanders, particularly the Kara and Shiza clans, as well as the Free Knights of Kamaru. Recently, border attacks by a group of thieves called the Keepers of the Flame have increased. And this book is especially interesting because I haven't played Suikoden 3 in a long time. But if you have played Suikoden 3, then you know a lot of what this is talking about. You have the Fire Champion and the Kiara clan. They're part of the Grassland, and there are other places that you explore in there, obviously, but a lot of it's set in the Grasslands. So that's really interesting because we never get to go there, obviously, in Suikoden 2, but just to hear that little snippet of information, know that's out there, and have that information further built on by exploring that specific part of the world and others in a future Suikoden game is just so freaking cool. I mean, take, for instance, a game like series like Final Fantasy. I love it, but every single Final Fantasy is different. It's set in a different world with different characters and different universe. And when you actually get a series that is interconnected and you've got characters from the same universe and recurring characters and recurring locales and things like that, it just, I don't know, it makes the world feel so much more alive. I mean, pretty much all RPGs I enjoy, as long as they're turn-based, but I have a particular love for those that have that connection between them. Now, to continue on, we have Old Book Volume 9. Source, Treasure Tinto Mines. Title, Hammer List. Text, Regional Hammers. Iron Hammer. Crude hammer made of iron. Can raise weapons to level 9. Found in the forest village. Copper Hammer. Well-made copper hammer. Can raise weapons to level 12. Rumoured to have been seen in Gregminster. Silver Hammer. Elegantly crafted silver hammer. Can raise weapons to level 15. Rumoured to be hidden in Greenhill. Golden Hammer. The most powerful of the hammers. Can raise weapons to level 16. Whereabouts unknown, but some say it is in Highland. So remember before we were talking about how in this game, instead of constantly buying new weapons, you start with just one weapon and that weapon gets upgraded. When you get upgraded to a certain point, its name will change. And it'll get stronger. But it'll always be the same weapon, just a stronger, more powerful, perhaps different named version of that same weapon. And in order to make that weapon stronger, you use the iron, not the irons, the hammers, which are collectible items that you give to your blacksmith. And once your blacksmith has them, you can pay a certain amount of potch or money to increase that weapon. And I'm pretty sure, as this states, because gold is the most powerful one, 16 is the most strongest weapon level you can have, and 1, of course, being the weakest. Okay, next we have Old Book Volume 10. So, source, found, Greenhill. Title, vegetable list. Text, vegetable list. Cabbage, available in Lake Quest, Drakemouth Village. Seed potato, available in Matilda Forest, Banner Village. Spinach seedling, available in Two River, Forest Village. Monsters around Greenhill area. Tomato, available in Banner Item Store, Gregminster, Tigermouth Village. So, these are seed, which are another form of collectible, and as it states here, you can find them in these locations, plus I'm pretty sure there are many others. And what you do with them is you give them to the farmer, who I believe his name is Tony, and he will plant them, and you can use the subsequent ingredients from those crops in order to cook up various recipes, which are very handy because not only do those items act as recovery items, and some of the best items in the game in terms of recovery items can be made through cooking, because not only do they heal but also grant various other beneficial effects. But yeah, you can also use them in cooking to use in the cooking contest, which is always loads of fun. Okay, continuing on, we have Old Book Volume 11. Source, found rock axe. Title, livestock list. Text, livestock list. Chick, available in Lake Quest, Tigermouth Village. Piglet, available in Radat, Greenhill, Rockaku Hamlet. Lamb, available in Kobold Village, Forest Village, Sarjar Village. Calf, available in Highway Village, Drakemouth. So, these are basically the same as the seeds, only these are livestock, so I won't go into a full explanation, but again, you can collect these and other animals as well. And once you have them, there's a little girl who acts as, I guess, not the farmer, but looking after your livestock basically. And yeah, Once you have these, you gain access to meat that can be used again for cooking, to make items for healing and so forth, and for use in cooking mini games. So very handy little things to have. And finally, we have Old Book Volume 12. Source: Found Moose. Title: The Gourmet Tour. Text: The Gourmet Tour. A list of the greatest food in each region. If you go there, try these. City of Moose. Start with otashi, a refreshing Japanese salad. Coronet. Try the gyoza, fried dumplings here. Couscous. The fish fries in this harbour city are delicious. The quiche is good too. Radat. The simmered fish is fantastic. Also, the croquettes are addictive. Lake Quest. For a nice variety, enjoy the sunomono here or Two River. The grilled fish or rice omelette here. Kobold Village. You may have fun picnicking on kobold meat pies, hamburgers, or sandwiches in an open field. Green Hill. Japanese stew, tempura, and pizza are popular with the students here. Highway Village. Try the obento, box lunch, or the teriyaki while haggling with merchants. Rock Axe. The most popular dish here is Genghis Khan, Gregminster. If you make it this far, end your journey pleasantly with some curry. So, again, these are various meals that you can cook, and in order to cook a specific meal, you have to have the recipe, which again is a form of collectible. These can be found in all sorts of places. You can find them sometimes by searching people's homes and examining things. Sometimes people will give them to you. Sometimes you can buy them as a rare find, and sometimes enemies will drop them. And of course, another way to get the recipes, and one of the ways to get some of the best recipes in the game, is by winning the cooking mini game, because for every cooking battle that you win, you receive a new recipe, and these are always really, really good recipes to get. And of course, as I've said 100 times already, it is extremely fun. I love that cooking mini game. But with that concludes the video for today. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I, as stated before, would like to cover the rest of the old books because I find the Suikoden games and their lore absolutely fascinating. So if you would enjoy that, be sure to let me know. And I would appreciate it if you could like the video, leave a comment, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. The majority of people who watch my videos are actually not subscribed, so I'd appreciate it if you could double check that, and if you aren't already, hit that sub button. Those little things go a long way towards helping the channel. But I'm the RPG Goddess Gamer, your host, and I hope you've enjoyed this little episode. Until the next one, I love you all guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.